Okay, so we'll make a start, and just a reminder, now I mentioned this at the end of last week's class, but I'll just go through the details of the salute again. So we want to make a fist, a hollow fist with the right hand, and the thumb sort of tucked over like this. The thumb shouldn't be sticking out, but it's resting on the first couple of fingers. And you should be able to see through the hollow in the fist.
Yeah. See it?
Yeah.
Aye,
One eye or both or whatever.
Sorry, Konrad.
No, good joke. Good joke. And the other hand is an open palm, and we join them at that point there. So sort of the knuckles line up with the knuckles, and the thumb goes over the hollow of the fist. Okay, and we have that at about chest height, and this, of course, represents yin and yang. Yin round, yang flat, complementary opposites. And we just push the hands forward. In a live class situation, we would make a bow, but we don't bow online. It's not really appropriate. And then when we separate the hands, we just move them sort of in a circular motion. And the same when we go to make the bow, it's just bringing the hands up in a little bit of a circular motion and then hands down again. All right, excellent. So let's go through the warm-ups. I won't go into detail. I better spotlight my video. There we go. And so, starting with the feet parallel and hands curved, breath regulator. Slow breath in, out, in, out. Just try and remember all the details I mentioned last week. And once more. And as we're breathing calmly, our body becomes calm, our mind becomes calm, heart becomes calm. Okay, and stepping out, feet shoulder width, sitting in the horse stance, swinging arms. Winding down and sideways, still sitting in the horse stance. Hand up to the shoulder. winding down, and the butterfly. Turning left, back to the center, hands down. Okay, rotations, starting with the wrists,
Those elbows come down and slowing down.
and reverse. Elbow rotations, and reverse. Hands down, arm rotations, reverse. Other side, reverse. And waist rotations, knees off lock. And reverse.
He's just got his hands.
Oh, he's got.
Back to the center. Ankle rotations.
And this. I was doing this right leg first, sorry.
We did
Okay, one leg.
Reverse. Other side. reverse, change sides again, kicking back the heel, other side, okay, we'll have a little shake out there. I think that's where we finished last week.
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll continue on from there with the details. We'll do our single leg squats. Now this one, if you need to, please hold on to a chair or a table or a wall or something. There's no points for being a hero. But over time, of course, as Janice mentioned last week, your balance will improve, but be patient with yourself. So we'll take the support leg off lock and lift the other leg, and we just do squats just as far as is comfortable. You want to feel a bit of pressure on the thigh muscle, of course. And very important to try and have your knee pointing in line with your toe. Okay, change sides. So the knee shouldn't sort of go this way or that way. It should go straight forward. Okay, other side.
Thumb and back.
And don't straighten your leg. When you rise up, keep it a little bit off lock. And we'll change sides again. I should mention here, it's very hard to balance if your knees are locked. And also to help you balance, it's very important to focus on a point in front. If your eyes are moving around, this makes it more difficult to balance. Yeah, I think they're the main points. So the next one is pointing the toe. So we'll just take the support leg off lock, and again holding on to something if you need to. The idea of these couple of exercises is to strengthen the legs, in particular the thigh muscles. So we'll point the toe forward and side and back. Eyes locked on a point in front. Three, 4. Other side. It's also very hard to balance with your eyes closed, so don't do this with your eyes closed. Okay, so point forward, side, back. Okay, back to the centre. And it's quite normal to be a bit wobbly in those balancing exercises, but even if you wobble, you're still increasing the muscle tone. So keep keep doing it if you can. All right, so we'll go into the details of the 8 stretches. This is a set of 8 stretches called Bodhidharma, 8 Steps to Health and Wellbeing, and a very useful set of exercises. They're very, very old. So we start with the first one, the neck stretches. We have the heels together, feet making a V shape. This makes it quite stable. We rest the hands behind, and I usually just grip my wrist like so. You can also have your hands like this, and sort of pull your hands down a little bit. This really helps to get the shoulders back and the shoulder blades sort of pulling towards each other. It's very helpful for straightening the neck and opening the top of the chest. Now, this is very important with this move in particular because we're rotating the neck, and if the neck is curved or bent, then it's very uncomfortable to turn the neck. So we want to keep this part here in a straight line. So if the head's forward like this, and we're trying to turn the head, there's a lot of restriction in there, and actually it can be a bit painful. So try and avoid that. So particular pay attention to this one. Pay particular attention to the straightness of the neck in this move. And you can tidy up your shirt. I just tidied up mine because I noticed that it was a bit untidy. So anyway, so standing tall, we'll check the feet and the hands and shoulders. And it's a very simple movement. We just bring the chin towards the chest, but try not to let the body or the shoulders move forward. We're just sinking the chin. We're keeping the neck extended. And then we lift the chin and try not to close the back of the neck. Okay, so we actually keep it open a little bit. So you're not just sort of crunching up the neck like that. It's actually we're sort of extending upwards. And then chin down again, keeping the shoulders in position. And center and chin up. And center. And actually with this one, if you want to get a really strong stretch, you can sort of pull your hands back a little bit and down. And I do this one quite a lot during the day, most days. And it really straightens up the neck. Okay, so after we've done the chin up and down, we do looking over the shoulder, and with this one, again, very important to have the neck straight, and we just glance over the shoulder using our eyes as well. So we look towards the back of the room with the eyes, and then center, and turn to the other side. Center. We hold each stretch for a few seconds. Center, other side. And center. And this one here towards the shoulder, keeping the shoulders in the same position, and we just relax relax into the stretch, center. 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 And center. Okay, how do you find that stretch? Pretty good, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, good. I really like it myself. Okay, so stepping out, feet shoulder width. And again, feet parallel and hands curved. And this one's called lifting the sky or lifting the heavens. And we make a circle in front with the hands and then lift. When the hands get about the face height, we roll the hands over so the palms are facing up. And then we stretch up and reach towards the ceiling. And we can lock the arms with this one and release. So we hold it at the top for about 5 seconds and we repeat 4 times. So it's a circle. And then lift. Roll the hands and stretch up, big stretch. And actually we look up with this one as well. And release. And when the palms are facing up at the top, you should feel a bit of a stretch or a bit of a tension in the forearms. We're rotating the palms upwards so you can feel the stretch in the forearms. And release. And I lost count. Was that 3 or 4?
3, I think.
Oh, one more.
3. Yeah. We'll do one more. Big stretch. Try and reach the ceiling and push the ceiling upwards. And release. Okay, next one, side stretches. Again, we try and rotate the palms so that we feel a stretch in the forearm. Can you feel the stretch in the forearm when you do that? Like in the last one?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Just want to make sure I'm explaining it clearly enough.
Can I ask a question? Do you have
Yes.
to have your tongue on the top of the root of the mouth?
Ideally, yes, we'll keep it there all the time throughout all Tai Chi movements.
Okay.
Yeah, a good question. Thanks, Mary Christine. So, yeah, we'll keep the tip of the tongue curled up if you can, and lightly touching the roof of the mouth, just behind the top front teeth. This joins the 2 main meridians together. The front meridian, which runs from the underneath side of the tip of the tongue down the front to the pelvic floor muscle, and the back meridian runs from that same point, following the spine, and ending at the mouth, just behind the top front teeth. All right, and so side stretches. So we've got one palm up, it's upwards, other palm down, And with this one, we also lock the arms if you can, so it's quite a big stretch. And if you push your hands in opposite direction, so the lower hand fingers are pointing forward, and we're twisting the forearm, and the top hand's pointing over the head, so they're in different directions. And these directions that the fingers are pointing help to create the tension in the forearms. So a big stretch, and then we change sides, we breathe out, and the hands should pass each other in the middle, and then we breathe in as the hands separate. So checking the hands again, so lower hand point forward, upper hand point over the head.
Looking at the lower hand.
And we look downwards, yes, correct. And we change, breathing out, and then in. And once more. And hands down. So yeah, if you have your hands pointing just in a comfortable position, you sort of feel like doing it like this, but actually we bring that one to point forward, and that creates that tension in the forearms. So, and the purpose of the tension in the forearms is to compress the chi. So the chi that is coming out of the body through the hands, it gets compressed, and it's a form of like processing or cooking the chi, or strengthening the chi as it comes out of the body. Same thing happens with the legs when we do the movements with the legs bent. The chi that comes up through the leg gets compressed and processed by the thigh muscle, and moves into the body. So it gets processed coming in and also coming out. The next one is bending the bow, and with this one, feet still shoulder width, and we lift the arms up to shoulder height, and then move them to the side, and then we form hollow fists, relaxed fists, and then we pull the, imagine pulling the string back from the bow, and at this point we're going to try and have the back in a straight line, so it's not like this or this or this or that. There should be a straight line along the back of the arms in the back, and you should feel the top of the chest opening up. Then we release the hands, bring them back to the front and down. And other side. So we rise up, turn, pull the string back, and check that the back of the arms and the back are all straight, and release, and sink down. We'll do 2 on each side. Release. And release. And just before we go on to the next one, I need to have a sip of water. Or just have a drink if you need to. and swinging the weight. So with this one, we also have hollow fists. And just a reminder, with the fist, try not to have the thumb poking out. We have that resting over the first two fingers, like so. And imagine you're picking up a bag of rice. We bend the knees, you can bend over. With this one, we pick up on one side and then we move and lift on the side, and then going back down to the opposite side. And just a little bit of detail about this one. We are actually not moving the arms that much, but we try and use the torso to move the arms in the circle. I'll try and explain that. So as my, at the start, I'm bent over, but then to lift the arms, I actually straighten the body. And I'm leaning back a little bit. This brings the hands up. And then bending the body to put the hands down again. So it's much more of a body movement. It's not just the arms making a circle. It's really the torso making movement. The stomach area is like the hub of the wheel, and the limbs are like the spokes of the wheel. So we'll do that. We'll go from the other side actually, and we usually do 4 of these as well. And we reverse each time. And the breathing with this one is we breathe in as we lift. We actually hold the breath for about a second at the top without stopping the movement, and then continue breathing. And at the end, we come back to the center, lift the body, rising up slowly. Okay, next one.
The
Yes.
arms are basically in front of you the whole time. The arms are in front of you.
That's correct. Yes, they are. Yeah.
That is different to what I have been doing. Yes. Yes. Yes, you get a lot out of it that way. Yes.
Yeah, that's a good way to explain it, actually. Yep, I'm just watching some of the others. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
We're just mucking around, sorry.
No, that's all right.
I was just thinking it's a fun dance move, that's all. It's an abbreviation of this, yeah.
Yeah, there is a dance like that, isn't there?
Yeah.
All right. So next one, heels together and palms curved. And I'll just actually explain this one before we do it together. But we're going to lift the arms up to the top and then out towards the sides, and then we run the back of run the hands down the back of the legs, like so. The tendency is here to let the hands move forward, because then you can sink down lower. But it's not a matter of how low you can sink, but how much you can stretch those tendons at the back of the legs. So we get a much better stretch if we keep the hands at the back of the legs and just go as far as you feel, a bit of a stretch. And then after we've reached that point, we will try and relax deeper on each out breath. So we will hold the stretch for a few breaths, and on each out breath, just try and sink by relaxing into it, not by pushing, not by forcing it, but by relaxing into the stretch. Okay, so we'll try this together. Janice is already in position. Sorry, Janice, but that was to be a demonstration. Anyway, we'll do it together now. So we'll lift the arms in front, up over the head, and down the sides. Palms running down the back of the legs. You can see my little doggy there. He's come to say hello. And then we'll just hold the stretch, keep breathing gently. Breathing in and out through the nose, tip of the tongue connected to the roof of the mouth. And relax the neck, the shoulders, the upper back, middle back, lower back. Just relax a little bit deeper if you can on each out breath. And then we'll bend the knees forward and rise up slowly.
I find with each out breath and you're relaxing, you can actually go down a fraction further each time.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, yes. And if you let your head drop down, you used to tell us, if our head, the top of our head can, if you can sort of face the top of the head, face the floor.
That's right, you're sort of tucking the chin in.
Yes.
But not really, it's just, relaxing it. Exactly.
Yes. And I find that works quite well.
Yeah, excellent. And the next one, we step out wide with this one. So we're stepping out to the feet at about 1.5 shoulder widths. And we sink into the horse stance. So we want to point the knees outwards a little bit. And we start with the left hand forward, hands curved, and the other hand at the hip. And the movement we do is, we'll just do the movement first and then we'll do the breathing. So as we pull the front hand back, we extend the other hand and roll that one over. And then we roll that one again, so the palms are both up again. Yeah, so that's the movement. So we're pulling one hand back without rotating. The other one is punching forward, and that one is rotating. And then the front one, we turn the palm up again. Yeah, okay. So it's pulling one back without rotating, the one going forward rotates. And then when we open the palms, we have to turn the front hand over, and then same thing on the other side. And the breathing with this one is we breathe in quickly, so there's timing with the breathing. So the first breath, the in breath is quick, and then we hold the breath for a medium amount of time, and then breathe out. How can I explain this? It's sort of like if you were counting, you don't need to count though, but if you're counting, it will be in breath for 1, hold for 4, breathe out for 2. Okay, so it's actually a quick in breath and actually a long hold and a medium out breath. I think that's one way to describe it.
Do you try it out as you push that hand forward so you've got a bit of pressure behind it? Feels like there's a bit of pressure behind it.
No, that's when we're holding the breath, I think. So it's, yeah, so it's not technically a punch, this one. So think of it as like we're trying to do some martial art punch.
Right.
It's nothing to do with punching. We're actually transferring the air from one lung to the other through this movement. So try not to think of it as a sort of an external force at all. There's just the sort of physically moving the hands to those positions, actually it does something to move the air internally. So that's the focus of the movement. It's an internal thing, not an external thing. Yes, Anna? I think you're on mute. Anna, I can't hear you. I know you're not on mute, but you might, sound might be, yeah.
Do we punch with the in-breath or straight after it? Do we?
We punch after we breathe in. So the breathe in, the in-breath has no movement. And as we're holding the breath, that's when we move the arms. And then as we open the palms, that's when we do the out breath.
Right.
Yeah, good question. Thanks, Anna. So that's how the air moves, because we're actually holding the breath, but we're moving the body. That actually makes the air transfer from one lung to the other. Okay, so it's an in-breath, no movement. Holding the breath is when we do the punch, and the out-breath happens as we open the hands again. So let's try that together. So sinking into the horse stance, and left hand forward, other hand at the hip. And we breathe in, hold, punch, breathe out, open the hands. And in, punch while holding, breathe out while opening. So quick in-breath, hold, and out-breath. Okay, and to finish, we drop bring the front hand back and drop the hands down. And it's probably a good time to remind you here that we're breathing just into the top of the lungs and the upper back. The stomach muscles are gently pulled in, so we're not breathing down into the diaphragm, just keeping the air in the top of the lungs. Okay, so last one is
Bending backwards. Bending backwards.
Bending backwards, thanks Annette. Bending backwards, breathing out in 7 short breaths. And this one's supposed to be able to heal 1,000 illnesses. It's special. So I think partly because it's not very often that we sort of look up with our head. Often we're sort of looking down, bent over. And this movement really helps to open up the top of the chest and loosen up the spine as well. So with this one, we keep the hands at the lower back. We use that for support, so you can lean on your hands as we bend back. Very important with this one to bend the knees as we bend back. And when we're coming back up again, you can sort of push with your hands to move forward or to bring yourself back up. And with this one, this is one of the very rare moves where we actually breathe out through the mouth and we don't have the tongue touching on the roof of the mouth with this one. So we want to breathe out in 7 short breaths as we bend back. And yeah, that's the movement. So we'll do that together. And with this one, we have the feet at shoulder width, so we actually bring the feet in a bit for this one. The last one, we have the wide stance. This one is just a comfortable stance. So Start with a big breath in through the nose, and then 7 breaths out. And rising up, push with the hands. And then we just bend forward to counter that stretch and rise up again. Okay, a little shaking out there. Excellent. So I think some people might be getting warm hands by now, getting the chi flowing. I know mine are actually quite pink in colour from the warmth. So if you're feeling the chi, that's really good. If not, do some more Tai Chi after the class. Okay, so we're going to have to start winding it down now. We're nearly out of time. We will do the lotus to finish with, but any questions before we move on?
No, it's all good. No, good.
All good? Excellent. So I'll just scan my brain to see if there's anything else I need to mention. Can't think of anything at the moment, so we'll just go into the lotus exercise to wind down. And we won't look at the details of this one yet, we haven't got time. But yeah, do your best to try and remember all those details, or have a look online when I post this back up again. So getting ready, and we start with the feet together, and we just open the heels and the toes, the feet parallel at a comfortable shoulder width, hands curved, and we raise the arms through the clouds to start. Turtle treads water. Snow rabbit digs the earth. Separate the hands, scooping water, spreading it far. Lotus flowers form and blossom. Press the wind. Other side. And palms up. Lift the sky up to chin height. Palms down. Press the earth. And here we get a little stretch of the legs and scooping from the sea. Diagonal stretch. Other side. Cross the wrists. Snow rabbit plows the earth. And roll the palms. Raise the arms through the clouds again. And we've got time to go through one more time. Turtle treads water. Snow rabbit.
They stuck that one up there.
Scooping water. Lotus. Press the wind. Other side. Lift the sky. Press the earth. Scooping from the sea. Diagonal flying. Other side. Snow rabbit plows the earth. And roll the palms, raise the arms through the clouds to finish. Feet together, closing form 3 times. And last time, legs straight. And we'll finish there. Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for your input as well.
Thank you.
And I've just got a couple of people joining in from the next class.